Hey everyone, welcome back. I am so excited for this deep dive. Today we're going to be looking at some research about how older adults view technology, especially in emergencies.
Okay.
And then we're going to brainstorm a project idea for the AARP Community Challenge. And speaking of the AARP Community Challenge, have you heard about this? They've given out over 1,700 grants,
Wow.
totaling over $20 million to communities.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. And most of those grants, 92% were for $20,000 or less.
Exactly. So very doable.
Very doable.
So let's dive in and see if we can come up with something cool.
Okay.
One of the first things that I thought was really interesting about this research was how it kind of changes our perspective on how we usually view older adults in emergencies, right? We typically think of them as being the ones who need help.
Right.
But this research is saying, no, they have a lot to offer.
Yeah, I think that's a really important distinction, too. This research focused on community-dwelling older adults,
Right.
not those in assisted living facilities.
Right.
So these are folks who are active and engaged in their communities.
Exactly.
Who are, want to be part of the solution and not just the recipients of aid.
Right. It's not about viewing them as vulnerable,
Yeah.
but as valuable partners with experience and skills to share.
Yeah.
And there's a great example of this in the paper. There was a story about an older woman who saved her neighbor's life during a tornado
Oh, wow.
because she was the one who got the alert
Oh, wow.
and she knew what to do.
I love that.
It really highlights how, older adults can be such asset
Absolutely.
in these situations. They've lived through a lot. They have practical knowledge, and they're often very connected to their neighbors.
Yeah, they really are.
And speaking of connections, the research also looked at how these older adults felt about using technology during emergencies.
Okay.
And one of the things that stood out to me was that it wasn't just about individual safety. It was about staying connected to their community as a whole.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the participants in the study lived in a coastal town, and their only evacuation routes were bridges.
Oh, wow.
So you can imagine, how easily those could get jammed during hurricane season or even just tourist season.
Yeah. Of course, traffic's already bad enough as is.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that they would be, really focused on getting timely location-specific alerts.
Yeah. They really need to know what's coming in when so they can make those decisions
Right.
about what to do.
It's not just about having technology. It's about having the right technology
Absolutely.
that meets their specific needs.
Yeah.
And then this was another finding that kind of surprised me.
Yeah.
So the research found that even though these older adults had strong social networks,
Okay.
they actually preferred to get help from emergency services,
Oh,
not their family or friends.
interesting. So not relying on that close network.
Not in that situation.
Yeah.
It seemed counterintuitive at first,
Yeah.
but when you kind of dig into their reasoning, it makes sense. They talked about not wanting to burden their loved ones. They talked about needing a quick response time and also just trusting the expertise of emergency personnel.
Right. Knowing that they're going to be the ones that can get there the fastest and have the most knowledge about what to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's not that they don't value their personal connections.
Right.
It's that they recognize that emergency services have this very unique role to play in a crisis.
Yeah, and that trust is so essential in those moments.
Right. Exactly.
When you're really needing to make sure that you're getting the right help and you can rely on those services.
And it makes me think about, when we talk about AARP community challenge projects,
Yeah.
this idea of trust is really important to keep in mind
Absolutely.
as we think about developing these projects.
Yeah, because you really want to make sure that you're creating something that people are going to feel comfortable using and will actually be beneficial to them in the long run.
Exactly.
So building that trust from the get-go is key.
Okay, so let's move on and talk a little bit more about some of the specific needs
Okay.
that the research highlighted.
Sounds good. So when it came to emergency shelters, the older adults wanted more information than just where they were.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they wanted to know capacity and amenities and pet policies,
Oh, yeah.
all that good stuff.
That makes sense.
Yeah, they really wanted to make an informed choice about where to go.
Yeah. Because if you're leaving your home, you want to know what to expect.
Right.
You want to have as much control over the situation as possible.
Exactly. And it got me thinking, wouldn't it be cool if we could do a project for the AARP Community Challenge
Yeah.
that would kind of address these needs?
Yeah.
So what if we partnered with a local senior center and we created a digital literacy program that focused on emergency preparedness apps?
I like that.
Oh.
So we could teach them how to use apps that provide real-time alerts and shelter information, evacuation routes, even communication tools if the cell service goes down.
Exactly. But we also have to remember that trust factor
Yeah.
we talked about before.
Right.
Older adults are happy to share their information, but it's only with organizations that they trust.
Okay.
So working with a senior center would be key.
Yeah. Because they have that existing relationship
Yeah.
and that rapport.
Yeah. And they're often seen as a reliable source of information for older adults.
Right.
Plus, they're already a hub for community activities.
Exactly.
So it's a good place for people to gather and learn.
Right. And we
Yeah.
could even design the program in a way that, fosters that social connection.
Yeah.
What if we had, the more tech-savvy seniors help the ones who aren't as familiar with the smartphones and the apps?
Yeah, like a buddy system.
Yeah.
I love that.
So they could work together and share tips and tricks and build confidence.
Right.
Have ownership over the project.
Exactly. It wouldn't just be about the technology. It would be about connecting with each other
Exactly.
and feeling empowered to prepare for emergencies together.
And, we could also think about providing, like, loaner devices.
Yeah,
And internet hotspots for the people who don't have access at home.
absolutely.
And maybe we could even work with local businesses
Okay.
to offer discounts on, smartphone plans for seniors.
That's a great idea.
I'm just spitballing here.
I like it.
But how do we make it fun?
Oh, that's a good point. Right. We want people to stay engaged
Right.
and actually, retain this information and use it.
Yeah.
Well, we know that they value their social connections. So what if we had like group activities and like a little friendly competition
Okay.
as part of the program?
Like mock emergency scenarios.
Yes, exactly.
Love it. Where they would have to use the app to, like, communicate with each other and share information.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. And we could have prizes
Yes.
for the teams that, do the best job.
Yeah, gamification.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
We could also have guest speakers come in. Like, someone from the local fire department or the emergency management agency.
Right. Bring in some experts.
So that they know that this is something serious, that they
Yeah.
should be, taken seriously.
Absolutely.
And what if we also got some younger volunteers to help with the training?
Oh, I love that idea. Intergenerational. It's perfect. Yeah. It's a great opportunity for connection. Seniors sharing their wisdom and experience.
Yeah.
And the younger generation can teach them,
The tech stuff.
all the new things.
We're not just teaching technical skills here.
Right.
We're fostering this whole culture of preparedness
Yeah.
and community support.
I love it.
And that ties in perfectly with, what the AARP is trying to do.
Absolutely. Creating livable communities for all ages.
And speaking of the AARP,
Mhm.
the average grant is between $10,000 and $12,000
Okay.
with a max of $25,000.
So it's definitely doable.
This is totally doable.
Yeah. Think of the impact.
I know. It's all about empowerment, right?
Yeah.
Shifting that perception
Right.
from vulnerable to resilient.
Exactly. And recognizing their strengths.
Yes.
And letting them, contribute to their communities.
It's not just about teaching them how to use apps.
Right.
It's about building that sense of shared responsibility.
Absolutely.
Okay. This is all sounding fantastic.
It is.
But I do have a question.
Okay.
How do we address, like, privacy concerns?
Well, that's a good point. Yeah.
Because, the research highlighted how they're willing to share information,
Mm-hmm.
but only with organizations they trust.
Right.
So how do we make sure that they feel comfortable?
Yeah. I think we need to be super upfront
Okay.
about data privacy from
Mhm.
the very beginning.
Right.
So we could even have a session dedicated to privacy and security
Okay.
and explaining how the app works,
Okay.
what information is collected,
Okay.
how it's protected.
We could even invite, like, a cybersecurity expert to come in
Ooh, that's a good idea.
and speak to them directly,
Yeah.
which would really build trust.
Yeah. And when we're choosing the app,
Right.
we need to make sure we pick one with a strong track record on privacy and security
Exactly.
and make sure we explain that to the
Like-
participants.
And we could even provide them with written materials
Yeah,
that, explain the privacy policies in, like, plain language.
absolutely.
So it's easy for them to understand.
Yeah. It's all about building that confidence and making sure they feel good about using the technology.
So we've covered a lot,
We have.
but I think we need, like, a wow factor.
Yeah.
It's like, what's going to make this stand out from
Yeah.
all the other projects?
That's a good point. What's going to make people go, wow, that's innovative?
Exactly.
Let me think. What if we took it on the road
Ooh.
instead of just having it at the senior center?
Oh,
What if we brought the digital literacy workshops to the older adult?
I love that.
Right.
It solves the transportation problem for some.
Exactly.
And we could really tailor the training to the needs of different neighborhoods.
Yeah.
We could partner with churches,
Mhm.
community centers, apartment complexes,
Okay.
set up shop in their common areas. Bring our own devices.
Yeah.
Make it fun.
Make it social.
Have some refreshments.
I love it, like a pop-up digital literacy event.
Exactly.
It'll get people excited.
And it shows that we're really, invested in their well-being.
Yeah.
We're coming to them.
Absolutely.
So, okay, to recap,
Okay.
we're going to partner with a local senior center, and then we're going to bring these pop-up digital literacy workshops to the older adults in the communities.
I like it.
We're going to focus on teaching them how to use emergency preparedness apps. We'll address any privacy concerns that they have.
Yes.
We'll create a buddy system so they can learn from each other.
Yeah.
We'll involve younger volunteers.
Intergenerational.
And we'll even do mock emergency scenarios.
Keep it fun.
Keep it engaging. I mean, this sounds like a really good project.
It does. It's addressing a need.
Yeah.
We're being thoughtful in our approach. It could make a real difference.
But how do we make it sustainable?
Ooh, that's a good question. Because the grant money is only going to last for so long.
Right, exactly.
What if we included the trainer component?
Ooh.
So we could find those tech-savvy seniors who are already natural leaders and turn them into digital literacy ambassadors.
I love that.
Right. They could lead the workshops, provide that ongoing support, and even advocate for, more people using this stuff.
It's like a ripple effect.
Exactly.
We could also partner with libraries and community colleges to offer ongoing classes.
Yeah.
Love that.
Ooh, and we have to document everything.
Yes.
Storytelling.
Yes. We need to share those testimonials.
The impact.
Connections. Get it in the local news, social media.
Other communities could do this too.
Exactly. Spread the word. So we started with this research about older adults and emergency preparedness.
And technology.
We found a need, and we brainstormed a project.
We did.
It's amazing how research can be a catalyst for change.
Absolutely.
Like, we're talking about real people.
Real solutions.
Real solutions.
Yeah.
I am ready to put these ideas into action.
Me too. What about you, listener? Are you feeling inspired?
If you have an idea for a project, head over to aarp.org Community Challenge.
Start brainstorming.
You could be the next grant recipient.
Make a difference.
And remember, it all starts with a deep dive.
That's right.
You never know where curiosity might lead you.
That's very true.
Thanks for joining us.
See ya.